Record. Where's that record button?
Tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up as early as possible, kick open my front door, and yell outside, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore!" And see what happens.
Where's the record thing?
Oh, God, I dropped my cap. You're live, it says. We're recording.
I am recording?
Yeah.
It doesn't say. It just says I'm live.
It says on the top.
That's how I'm recording. It's
Let me
not
get
my. It doesn't say anywhere on my screen other than I'm live. It says nothing about recording. It was a record button, and now it's a live button.
Okay, well, do you want me to record just in case?
Yes.
How do I know it's recording? Shouldn't
Exactly. Welcome to my world.
No, I mean, like, how I can't.
It says it's recording. We're just gonna go with it.
Ashley is watching the podcast, apparently. Hi, Ashley. Well, wait, no, because it said. Did it say you were live last time?
No, I didn't see the button. It was hidden. I moved it over so I could see it this time. I'm gonna assume that we are recording. Oh yeah, it's recording because it's going to YouTube, so it's recording.
Oh, for fuck's sake! All right, fine. Here we go. Let's. Hopefully, we don't do another 2-hour ass podcast for no reason.
Hi, I'm John Johnson,
and I'm
your Vampire Jeff.
No, don't introduce me like that. Come on,
people. First episode. Who are you?
What do you mean? Who am I? Why do you get to be John Johnson? I got to be some utter.
Because those are the cards we were dealt. I got the John Johnson card. It was shaky, but I got it. And you have to be Zombie Bride.
Hi, I'm Buffalo Bile.
Ooh, that's good. Okay, so this is our show called
Cine Slash.
Wonderful, and we're starting off with a boom. So what we're doing is I am a old filmmaker, been dead at least 30 years, and this is a young, hot and upcomer pot of tea who is looking to become a filmmaker and on the grand scale making feature films, and he loves slasher films.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like slasher films.
Well, it's not that you don't like them; it's just that you don't respect them.
I don't call them after I watch any of them. So then, here's the thing. So I've actually done some research on the definition of what a slasher film is and what it used to be, and we're going to kind of go over that. Okay. So the goal is that we're going to go through this podcast for about a year or so, and by the end of it, we're going to have a feature script in which we're together going to make into a film.
Allegedly, gonna have all of this done within a year.
Well, yeah, possibly. I mean, essentially, we're going to basically every episode focus on something like some minute thing, like, the weapon of the killer, what we like, what we don't like, and see if we pick our own setting, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to break down the whole thing. First, we're going to start with the definition of what a slasher film is, because I did not know this, but basically everything's a slasher film. And on top, we're now a slasher film.
We're also going to talk about. We came up with a list of our 5 favorite slasher films that are slightly diverse, I guess, because apparently there is a difference in slasher films, and we also have some terrible slasher films.
Yeah,
just to compare, I guess.
And I have my first argument before we get into this. Another genre of film, it doesn't exist.
Suspense thriller.
Well, yeah, that's a separate subject. So suspense thriller was invented because a movie was winning Best Picture called
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs, and it didn't want to be called a horror film, so they invented a genre called suspense thriller, which had in a video store was like one little shelf, and then the second video stores went away. It just threw the whole genre out. And in fact, whoever was looking up trying to find a suspense thriller last night, and just it didn't make any sense. Like the list of movies they had, it was just random shit. But yeah, horror films apparently are no good. Adult films are fine now, which is weird. That's okay, but I'm still in the smut aisle.
Yeah, because
it really does. No, if you say you make a horror film, they look at you weird. Like they're just like, ooh. So what I say is I'm a comedian who makes monster movies. If you say it like that, it's the exact same thing, but they think that's okay. But no.
So you're Bobcat Goldthwait?
Explain yourself.
Willow Creek.
Oh, the President Werewolf.
What? The fuck? No.
That was the
Bigfoot.
first episode, right?
Willow Creek was a movie he made based
Oh,
on
yeah, it's a TV show. Never mind.
God damn it. It was a Bigfoot movie that he made. It's a found footage film about Bigfoot, and it was actually quite effective and scary.
Here's what I'm going to put on the table.
Uh-huh.
There is no such thing as a sci-fi film.
What the fuck? What?
Name one movie that is just sci-fi that doesn't have a subgenre.
It's just science fiction?
Just science fiction.
So
like there's sci-fi drama, there's sci-fi action, there's sci-fi thriller, there's no sci-fi movie.
So just
sci-fi.
Just science fiction with no action. No... Okay, under the skin. Under my skin? Under the skin. Scarlett Johansson. She plays a witch. Or not a witch, a fucking alien in Scotland.
Is there action?
No.
No fighting?
No.
They just sit there and talk about science?
Oh. Well, no, she lures the guys back to her house, which
so
is...
it's a horror film or thriller. So sci-fi thriller.
So you're talking about just a movie that talks about science, and that's it?
I mean, that's all it would be. It would just be like, it's like, this is science and this isn't real. That's sci-fi.
Okay, what about the movie The Invisible Ray? Boris Karloff. Just watched it. That's all just talking about science. I mean, the guy does glow in the dark.
Right? It's like horror.
It's not horror. He disintegrates a rock.
No.
With a gun.
Let me look at the trailer.
And he does glow in the dark, but there's no horror.
I'm still holding my argument that there is no such thing as a sci-fi, just a straight sci-fi movie. Let's bring up this one.
Oh, we're gonna watch it here?
Yeah.
Well, this isn't gonna be part of the podcast.
I got it.
For all of you wondering right now, John is pulling up the trailer for a movie called The Invisible Ray starring Boris Karloff. You won't be able to see it, but you'll be able to hear it. Because
they haven't been able to watch it so far.
Because, yeah, that's how podcasts work.
Yeah. Invisible Ray, Boris Karloff. Second trailer.
Could have just clicked on that. Well, that's fine.
That's all right. I'm an old man. Oh, Billa. That looks like horror.
This is not a horror movie, trust me.
A ray from this nebula will be caught here and electrically transferred to the projector in my laboratory. From Andromeda, 750,000 light years distant. I leave my secret with you. It is all there. More power than man has ever possessed. Power to heal.
I'd say drama.
Power to
it's sci-fi drama.
What?
He's acting.
Ow.
So he just died.
You're poison. Poison. Everyone I touch is poison.
Yeah, this is definitely like a thriller.
If your men fail to capture him at the gate,
I will learn my lines.
Night we both all go to the house. His face and hands appear like phosphorus.
I mean, I see what you're saying. There's a lot of dialogue, but it's that's like sci-fi thriller, sci-fi horror.
Oh my god!
It doesn't have like it's just plain sci-fi would literally just be something in a textbook and then say it's fake.
I don't know. I guess you're right then.
It's weird. Like it's a very strange thing.
So, how do you want to structure this? You want to just start talking about like go one at a time, talking about our specific picks of our favorite slashers?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's do. Well, okay. So I got the sci-fi, and then what was the other thing I was going to do? There was something else that was very important. It was the whole thing. I did a big study. Oh yes, the definition of what a slasher film is. The whole purpose of this episode of the podcast. You have to know what we're doing. So I did some research, and in my research, I found some thingies. All right. So first, we're going to go to.
What did you find?
Well, I was looking up the definition in a couple different places to see what the hell everybody's talking about. and I found, I actually recorded them, so give me a second here. I'll just do this and save this one. Oh, they're in there. Okay.
I really, man, I have some, why don't we should have made this like a test at first to see if it was actually recording.
I think we're good. Because it's going to YouTube, which means it'll save.
I really hope so.
Yeah, because it'll stay in my live. All right, so what am I doing? I'm going. Oh, yeah. This is old man thinking. Like you literally like I'm pulling up something and you see something and you get completely distracted. You're like, oh, what is this? What I was looking at. It sucks.
How many people are in live right now?
We've got 4.
4?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Are we not entertaining?
No, we're not. We're literally like scrambling. But they're the best people are in there. That's in there.
Who is it?
We've got.
Are you not entertained?
Wait, you're distracting me. I'm supposed to be pulling up.
Well, I was just okay. Fine. You know what? I'll go look while you do that. Oh, Jesus.
All right, so that's our thing, and then I want to go to.
Oh my God. That wasn't supposed to happen.
But yet it did. All right, Kentucky Fried Movie. I don't want to go to. Well, I got it. Okay. So first, we're going to look at the definition of a slasher film to Google.
Yeah.
I'm about to play. Hang on. Give me a second. If it would play. There it goes.
Wait, hold on. Did you say the definition of a slasher film according to Google?
This is the first one.
Okay.
And Google is where people get most of their information these days.
You mean okay? So you're talking about Google as in like people who use Google and have their own opinions, as opposed to like Google as an AI sentient being who can think for itself and give out definitions.
I think Wikipedia is where people actually upload. I don't know if random people can upload to Google. Like when you type in, it's like literally on Google, it just comes up and like before any like clickable links.
Jesus Christ!
God.
All right, we are almost 13 minutes in and we haven't done shit.
The whole idea is that we're studying.
Is it?
You remember that? You remember that part?
I thought the whole idea was to talk.
Back in my day, we had textbooks, and we'd take each textbook. I have taken 2 seconds to pull up a goddamn file, and you just masturbating over there. Like I just.
We're supposed to be talking about movies.
Shut up, he's talking.
Slasher film. 1. A person or thing that slashes. 2. A horror movie, especially one in which victims, typically women or teenagers, are slashed with knives and razors.
No, that's Google.
Wow, that's pretty much every goddamn horror movie.
Exactly. Now it's not going to get any better. The best one I found was okay. So then we got. Close this down. Stop playing. Stop what you're doing. You're about to ruin Imogen style that you used to. All right, so that was. Then I went to Wikipedia. Why does it take so long to play these things? Because I saved them in 7 tracks. I recorded this in 7 tracks. Okay. It'll be fine. I looked up at the last one I did was the UK. It's loading. I went into the UK and the UK dictionary, Webster's dictionary, and the Urban Dictionary. Urban is probably the most important one.
Oh my God, Urban Dictionary! You really? I wouldn't pay attention to anything anybody says in Urban Dictionary.
Well, who do you think named it slasher?
What do you mean? What?
Like the Urban Society named it slasher. Like guys like you and me named it slasher, not some guy in like. Everybody do say.
Well, slasher is a subgenre of horror.
Everything's a subgenre of horror. Which actually I want to talk about that too.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying slasher is a subgenre. That's
right. But who do you think claimed it? Who named it that?
I have no fucking idea.
The Urban Society. People in the who went to the movie saw it and then so they named it.
I think that it was Mark Twain because that guy is credited with
black people. That was his whole thing.
It's possible that he could have invented quite a lot about horror and we
Well,
have no idea.
slasher films didn't really exist. They say the first one, technically, the grandfather is Psycho. That's what they say.
Yeah.
But there was stuff before that.
Barely. What?
And he
Peeping
gets stabbed
Tom?
with a knife. But it wasn't like, it's like it didn't borderline horror. Like Psycho isn't quite horror, but it's considered horror. Like I would consider it more like suspense, some drama. But it's considered the grandfather of slasher.
You know why I think it's considered the grandfather of slasher films? Because nobody would know anything farther back than Psycho.
That's not true. Because guys like me have been around a long time. We know Alfred Hitchcock, and we know like The Lodger, and we know the older movies.
Well, yeah, but wait. First of all, what do you mean you've been around a long time? Then so have I, because neither of us were born in the '60s. So
no, but we were talking. But like before, like horror nerds would talk about this stuff in the '80s. We were talking about movies from like the '30s.
Yeah.
Now they don't do it anymore. But I don't think
those are slashers, though.
I think The Lodger would count. Anything about Jack the Ripper.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
What?
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Like it's been around. They just call it that because of it's the drive-in theaters that basically changed how things are seen and done. Like B movie came from that. Like, for those who don't know, a B movie is actually the second run film in a drive-in theater, which is usually sold on its effects and or plot, where a film is sold on the merits of an actor or awards. And my VLC has just completely died on me, and I think my whole computer has as well.
Like, for instance,
I'm glad
you go to see High Sierra, starring Humphrey Bogart, and also Revolt of the Zombies.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, in that same regard, Independence Day is a slasher. Oh, not a slasher, a B movie. The effects were the biggest sell. Okay, well, this thing is now locked up, so I don't know what's gonna happen here. We could just end up dying.
Let's just start going. Let's go into the list that we have.
Really? Yeah, you go ahead and start with your first one.
Okay. Well, all right. First favorite slasher is what we agreed on, right?
Yeah.
Well, I picked obviously for my first and favorite and Halloween, obviously.
Part one.
Yeah, the original.
That definitely, from all the definitions I've seen, they say the UK definition of it defines it as a sometimes mass killer who goes around killing teenagers. But then they changed to a group of people. It used to just be teenagers, and now it's like a group of people.
Sure.
I guess now there's people who aren't in high school or getting killed.
But Halloween is you talk about Psycho as being the granddaddy of slasher films. Halloween is what propelled it into the limelight for people nowadays.
And what is it about Halloween?
What do you mean? What is it about Halloween that does it for me?
Yeah.
It's a fucking classic. Well, first of all, again, I have a sentimental attachment to Halloween because it was the first horror movie I ever saw. So Michael Myers has been in my life since I was 10 years old. But also it's a classic. It's the one that set up everything that came after it. I mean, Friday the 13th, literally Sean Cunningham has said on multiple occasions that he ripped off Halloween because it was doing so well.
And they both ripped off Psycho.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm saying, yeah, Psycho is the grandfather, but Halloween is Halloween's the cool teenager that rebelled and caught the attention of everybody. And then everyone's like, I want to be like that guy.
That makes sense. That's a good analogy. Yeah. Now, why part one over all the others?
Because it's the best. There's no
define that. You can't just say that.
No. Okay, why part one? Because it spawned 12 other movies. It was that good enough to be around and beloved by so many people to want to keep making sequels.
But for you though, not for other people.
I mean, well, I like it because it's more of a sentimental thing for me, and plus none of the other Halloween movies come close to it. It just, they don't feel the same. Nothing about it is.
What would you say is the overall feeling you get from that movie? Like, what is it that you like that you're constantly feeling? or at least it tries to emulate.
Well, I used to feel straight up fucking terror from watching that movie, thinking that this is like when I was a kid, when I first saw this movie. I every single time I would watch that movie, the other two Friday the 13th movies, part 4 and 5, back to back, because those were the other ones on the VHS tape.
Mm-hmm.
I always assumed, like, well, these people are real and I'm gonna die. I keep thinking, like, if I look over and look at the doorway, they're gonna come walking in and kill me and stuff like that. And but nowadays I've seen so much shit that I'm desensitized. So when I go back to watching it, I still feel I can still unlock that memory back then. So I still have the same kind of, appreciation for it, I guess, if you will, whatever.
Okay. Now, if we make our said film, what would you want to carry from that film? What would you want, like, not like a scene or something like that? Oh, I guess it could be. But what is it you would like to take from your viewing of Halloween that would help make our film better?
Well, I have attempted to already do this with my Trespasser OC that I did for TikTok, which is basically what I tried to do is mimic nothing about my Trespasser thing had anything to do with the subtlety of the original Halloween, because my stuff is completely horrifying and gory and graphic and stuff compared to the original Halloween. Moreover, I tried to make my Trespasser character feel more like a shape, like Michael Myers, just a, you know what I mean? And
Like
so
essentially,
it's more,
just like kind of an entity versus like a person. It's just like a thing that's going around. But
well,
like,
I mean, he is a person, but like, I tried to make it feel like there's no emotion, like how he just walks. He's just a regular dude, but like he is an imposing force for some reason. I tried to make it seem like that. So I think it would be really interesting if that's what we added to our killer, is that nothing, no flashy, no, like, I mean, I guess Jason also is sort of like that, but Jason's more of a what's the word I'm looking for? Jason's more of what
his
Michael
kills are very
Myers.
showy.
Yeah,
His
there
kills
you
are
go.
very showy.
Jason's more about the show and tell, where Michael is more about the efficiency.
What would you
So
say?
yeah, it used to be. Jesus fucking Christ. Ah.
Okay.
So I
So
think that's what we should add into it. I want to add the subtlety of it, not like not much of an explanation. I'm dying.
no, you still okay. So mine is my first pick is a movie called Slashers.
It's called what?
Slashers.
Okay. Wow. So
It's a television show within a movie. So essentially, a bunch of people, to win a bunch of money, go in a live broadcast of like a kind of a like obstacle course. Wait, what's happened? Oh no.
what?
Oh, it just froze. I don't know what. Oh my god, did I get my computer back? Oh god. Okay. All right, good.
The
All right,
fuck
that
are you
was
talking
good.
about?
I fell in love and I broke up and it broke my heart and I came back to you. I went through time and just came back to this exact moment.
Jesus Christ.
So the movie Slashers, was like, so essentially it's a game show. So the whole thing is filmed like it's a game show. Like the cameras are rolling and there's cameramen to go with them, and these people sign up to go through these obstacle course, but there are these slasher killers in it, like a chainsaw guy, a priest guy that's got a big he uses a bunch of stuff. And they're running around trying to survive, get through the show. If they get through it, they win a bunch of money.
You know what this sounds like?
What?
One Day at Horrorland.
I don't know that one. I
It's
wonder
Goosebumps. It's a Goosebumps book.
Oh, maybe. I'm reading Goosebumps, but this would have been 99, 2000, so it's probably after Goosebumps.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. But the fun part about this show is that they go to commercial, and when they do, the camera's still rolling, but they all have to freeze, and they're talking. So literally, they get to a point where the guy's got a chainsaw and he's about to hack him, and then they go to commercial, and he like has to stop and wait, and they're just like it's a really unique show, or the movie, and it's low budget, and they found a way to make the low budget work because the cameras that are rolling are like VHS kind of things, but they're the cameras of the show, not of like, it's not cinematic at all. The makeup effects are fantastic. The effects are good. People get cut in half. Like almost everything's like one running shot, and then you see the cuts, but they're there. Because they have crossfades and stuff like that to other cameras.
You've intrigued me with this movie. I want to.
It's very low budget. The acting isn't fantastic, but it's good. And they have to do tropes to survive. So one girl wants to live longer, so she takes her top off because she knows if she takes her top off, the audience will let her live longer because I want to see her again. And like it's a really traumatic thing when it happens.
Interesting.
And it has an ending that Robert Rodriguez stole.
What?
I'm not gonna say it. I'm just saying now. When I watched one of his other movies, I was like, I know where he got that.
Wait. Well, you do that a lot, though. You assume so many things. Like when we watched The Lighthouse, you thought that ending with the box from some other old movie was
they got the soul thing from Pulp Fiction, but it was the original film. There definitely was a lighting scheme of that.
I mean, all right, I guess.
I'd imagine so. It's like the same.
So what was the thing he stole?
Well, I don't want to say I ruined the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, but so slashers is my first pick. I saw it randomly when I was young.
What do you want to take from this movie to put in this movie? Do you want to make this whole slasher film that we're doing like this idea of where it's a TV show?
But I respect the uniqueness of it. It approached it in a very different way. That intrigues me. It's not. It isn't like the three high school girls walking down the street and being stupid. Like let's get high, let's go have sex, and then they get killed. like none of that stuff. Like this has a different approach to it, which I liked.
So you don't want to add anything to the movie? You just wanted to?
No, I want to take that away from it. I want to take the fact that I want that uniqueness to be.
No, that makes sense. Sorry, I'm eating a mint now, people.
All right, so now I'm going to play the Wikipedia definition of slasher film, which is loading, so it could take it a while. If it doesn't, if you just go into your number 2 and it'll just start playing, I guess. Cause I don't know why it takes so long to play these things. I gotta double click on it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead. It's still doing its thing.
Well, so you said be versatile with the choices.
Yeah, just like like about different things.
Out while I do that. And so I picked for my second pick. I picked The Strangers because it is one of the most realistic situations I've ever seen put on film, and it still be a movie.
Okay.
Like how many movies have you seen where, the people are trapped in the house or whatever, and the killers are outside, fucking with them, doing this or that, whatever, pounding on walls and stuff. It just feels like, it's planned and it's all set up and it's wacky and they're going to get in anyway, whatever. But The Strangers takes that situation and makes it real. Because, that's a real thing. This movie's a real thing. Like, Liv Tyler gets trapped in this house while her boyfriend goes out for cigarettes, and she gets trapped in this house while these 3 other killers are out there just knocking on windows, banging on walls and stuff, and hitting the door and stuff. And it's, legitimately terrifying because that's a real situation that could happen. Home invasion is, no joke. It's a thing that happens, and it's terrifying. And this movie makes it so fucking real. And it is technically a slasher film because according to your definition, people do get slashed and killed.
On Google.
So, but it takes a while to get to that situation. But that's why it's a realistic situation. You wouldn't just immediately show up and be like, hey, we're here. We're the killers. Okay, / done. Credits.
Here's Wikipedia's. I got another player. That seems to work.
Slasher. Wikipedia definition. Noun, slasher film. A slasher film is a genre of horror films involving a killer stalking and murdering a group of people, usually by use of bladed tools. Although the term slasher may occasionally be used informally as a generic term for any horror film involving murder, film analysts cite an established set of characteristics which set slasher films apart from other horror subgenres, such as splatter films and psychological horror films.
What? They're saying slasher films are different than splatter films?
They are. Splatter films, very wise. I didn't know what a splatter film was. I make horror films, didn't know what a splatter film was.
Well, okay.
Because the terminologies are different. So I went and looked that up, which I also have that definition. We'll bring that up in a minute. Um,
Hmm.
So that's the Wikipedia version, and which is very similar to the Google, just a little bit more defined.
Mm-hmm.
So what I used to call a slasher film literally was the you follow a formula. The whole thing is formulaic. You have a mask, you have a signature weapon, you have a signature reason or theme, and then you just go do your thing.
Uh-huh.
That's actually where the Urban Dictionary version they claim something a little different. They say it's a slasher film where somebody's getting revenge. They say revenge has to be a part of it.
Well, then
That's their version. I'm not saying these are 5 definitions. I'm just trying to figure out which one would be the correct one.
So Friday the 13th Part 5 would be
That's
a
revenge.
legitimate
So part 1.
slasher film.
So it's part 1.
So it's Part 1, yeah. Interesting.
That's only in the Urban Dictionary do they say that. Let's see. Okay, so my number 2 is Nightmare on Elm Street 3: The Dream Warriors.
Oh God. Okay.
1 is, I mean, the characters, like most slasher films don't really have good characters. Like his favorite character in Halloween was the guy who didn't talk. So like,
what? Who?
your favorite character is Michael Myers. So like, it's the guy who didn't talk.
Yeah. Well, actually, my favorite character in the first Halloween was Linda.
Which one was Linda? The main. That's not
PJ Souls.
Oh, okay. Well,
Just because she was hot.
That's not a reason. Character.
I noticed something that at a young age when I used to watch these horror movies for the first time. I noticed something that like I would it's an obvious reason why, but like I never looked at it that way. I was looking at it a very innocent way that like I would gravitate towards the hot character and be like, she's my favorite character. But I never thought in my childlike brain, it's like because I'm attracted to her because I'm like a fucking 10-year-old. But like, I mean, I see that now, but I just thought that was very interesting. But because like
part of it, I mean, you are lured to, like when somebody is attracted to you, you listen to what they say more because you're more focused on them versus everybody else. Or if somebody's really funny, that's another one that'll get you. Like if somebody, like you find a guy really funny in the group, when he starts talking or her, you're going to start listening to them more too.
Shelley.
In Police Academy, we went over the fact that when you first walk into a room, when a male first walks into the room, the first thing he does is scan the room for any threat. As in, is there any guy who looks like he's going to come punch me? We all do it. We do it really carefully, like a room you've never seen before, like new people. You look and see if there's any threat. The second thing we do is look for mating. Like, okay, who's hot? It's what we do. It's a human nature. You walk in, you're like, is anybody going to hurt me? Is anybody pretty?
I guess.
Well, next time you go in a room with people you don't know, just think about it.
Well, so Nightmare on Elm Street. Why?
1, it's where Freddy became Freddy. The first Freddy was kind of a fight between Wes Craven and oh my God, the guy who made Freddy. Shit.
What?
The producer.
Robert Shea?
Yeah, Shea. Basically, I disagree. I think Craven invented the beginning of Freddy, like the idea of Freddy, but Freddy was made by Shea. Like Freddy is why we know Freddy is because of Robert Shea, not because of Craven. Okay. Craven was the guy who came up with the idea, just like Lovecraft. Lovecraft came up with the idea, but it's the other writers who took Lovecraft stuff the reason why we know it today. Not Lovecraft.
Well, I mean, you
add up the amount of Lovecraft-esque things you've seen versus how many original Lovecraft pieces you've looked at.
I've read all of his work. I have all of it.
I guarantee you've seen more Lovecraft stuff in other things than you have in his actual work.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, The Lighthouse.
Yeah, Lighthouse, Evil Dead. You got everything.
By the way, so do you remember? Actually, you weren't around. You were downstairs, but when Angela was at the house and she told Mariah that you guys should watch episode 1 of season 2 of Creepshow.
Oh yeah, I want to watch the whole thing.
And I just yesterday watched it, and I understand 100% why you need to watch it. It is, I don't want to say anything about it, but it is it's incredible. It may be my favorite episode of the entire series. Trust me, you have to see this.
It's the showrunner is from K&B. It's Nicotero. Like everything he did with Walking Dead was fantastic.
Yeah, no, he directs some of the episodes. I think he might have directed the first episode of season 2.
He was the showrunner, so he basically oversaw everything.
But dude, it's the most out of fucking nowhere thing I've ever seen in my life. It doesn't even feel like a creep show thing. I just want sidetracked. I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you that. But anyway, yeah. So okay.
So the one you had a strong hero versus a villain, which I love in horror, especially with like a slasher film. You always have a final girl, but the final girl isn't a final girl until the very end of the movie. Like up until that point, she's running around, she's scared. It's only until that last 5 minutes where she's just like, "Get away from her, you bitch!" And then she comes in and fights him. Like Aliens she was strong the whole time. Like you knew who the hero was and you knew who the villain was. And I love that. I love that dynamic. Evil Dead kind of has the opposite problem. You know who the hero is, you have no fucking clue who the villain is. The villain keeps changing every 5 seconds, a new villain. But like, with slasher films, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'm rooting for fucking Chainsaw. Like I just want him to kill everybody because I just can't stand when these people talk. Same thing with the Friday the 13th films. Like you just want these people to die because they're just terrible. They want to do that on purpose. The only one that I saw that really flipped it on me was a Texas Chainsaw at the beginning, where you care for every fucking character and the two brothers watching the other one die. Like that was some shit. Like you cared for these people.
And then they all died.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was fucked. In horror films, they don't let you care. They don't want you to care about the people because you were rooting for the death. You're rooting for the gore.
That's what they did in The Strangers. They made you care about these two characters because you only have two characters to latch onto for the whole movie, and then you got the three killers. But like, they gave some sort of personality.
Was it Vacancy with
Kate Beckinsale, Luke Wilson?
Yeah. Do you know who the two killers were in that?
Oh God, I forgot. The hotel runners.
Yeah, the two. You know who they were?
No, the actors.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember. No, I don't.
One is Ethan Embry from Can't Hardly Wait, and he was in. He's in everything. He was Dutch. He was Empire Records. He was in That Thing You Do.
And
then the other one was Frank Whaley. You played him.
Oh, what?
They were the two killers.
It was
the coolest casting ever.
What? I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah, it was like so the second I saw they were the two killers, I was like, oh, I'm so in this. Sad story. I'm just throw this out there. I got cast in a movie. It was Fangoria was doing a thing called 8 Films to Die For, and a filmmaker named DeLuca called me. He wanted me to be in a movie that was shooting in a hospital with like Tracy Lords and Frank Whaley, and I couldn't do it and the guy from like Adventures of Babysitting, and I couldn't do it because I think it was called Crazy Eights, because I was making Skeleton Key 1, and I already accepted the cash, and I had to turn it down.
Hold up. The official Skeleton Key one?
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
So like the 2006.
Yeah, we shot in like 2004, but yeah.
Yeah, you filmed it 2 other times. This is like the 3rd time you made the movie.
This was the one that we actually took money in, and we were investors, so I couldn't just jump ship and go play the part.
Whatever. That's crazy.
You didn't tell me who was in it until after.
Well, probably.
Like, that was the cast? But okay, so that aside, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Frank Darabont did an excellent job with the screenplay. The characters are fun. That you kind of care for everybody. There's a loss, because like a lot of times in horror films and slasher films especially, when they're running in a group and somebody trips and gets killed, they're like, oh shit, Bob, and they just keep on going. But they're like, no one gets upset about it. Like no one grieves in these movies. No. They just keep going. But like in Elm Street 3, like when people lost, they grieved. Like they lost somebody. Like it was
cool. I remember what's his face, the dude on the rooftop with the puppet hands and shit.
We didn't know much about him, but you felt him after. Like the other characters talking about him made you care about him. But in the movie, you barely meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I love that film. I think it really the dynamic of all the characters was fun, and Freddy became Freddy.
So you want to add in what?
Character development.
Okay. Character development in a slasher film? This is not.
Well,
Oh,
here's
boy.
the thing. There's you obviously have you have throwaway characters. They're going to exist. And in horror films, everyone used to say it was like the black guy dies first. I don't think that's the case. I can't think of one movie where the black guy dies first. Sci-fi movies, yes, but not a horror film. I think that's a trope that we like somebody kind of bent on. Black guys die in movies, but they're not always the first one. You know who dies first in horror films? Bums. Bums get it so bad. They're the first ones to like roll up like, what's that over there? Like,
well, actually, if you're excluding the fact that if you're excluding Jason being blown up in part, or in Jason Goes to Hell, the first person he does kill is the Black Doctor.
Okay. It's also sci-fi.
What? Fine.
Oh, not Jason Goes to Hell. You're talking about, wait, that was Jason X. Wait.
No, I'm talking about Jason Goes to Hell.
Him, though. He doesn't kill him first.
Yes, he does.
Right away. He goes and kills people first.
No, he doesn't.
Then he possessed? Eats the heart?
Yes. No.
He doesn't die first. The girl in the camper, the tent dies first.
No, she doesn't. She's a cop, and she set the trap for him, and then they get
her. There's once he possesses the black guy. Black guy's still alive. Then he goes to kill the guys in the sex scene in the tent. She is the first one to die. He dies after he leaves the body.
Oh, what? Whatever. Fine. If you want to look at it that way, fine.
I'm just saying, sci-fi movies are the ones that kill the black guy first.
So, sure.
They do.
You're not wrong. I can't think of a fucking. I don't know.
Sci-fi films, not horror.
So,
all right.
My number 3. My number 3 is going to ruin it for you because I really need to talk about this and you haven't seen it, but it's fine. But it is the Slumber Party Massacre remake.
Believe me, I've seen it.
No, you haven't. I promise you have not.
Okay.
I promise you have not seen this movie. Oh my God. Listen, this is now here's where you said, okay, what do we have so far? We have the we have the character development of the killer being subtle and stuff like that. And then what did you wanted
something unique.
Unique, which this is also going to play into being unique, I guess. And then I said the realism of it from The Strangers, like making it a slower approach instead of just hack and slash immediately. Mm-hmm. And then you said character development,
which works for that.
Yeah. And then, here we go. Now we're on to this Slumber Party Massacre remake. I need this movie is not what you think. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've seen the original or any of the other ones. The story has nothing to do with that except for the driller killer. That's the only connection, I guess.
Which I would say part 2 is where it really felt like it was the series. Part 1 and 3 are like very kind of like throwaway, I think, in comparison to 2. He was like at the guitar drill, and he was like, but I mean,
but the first one's the one that everybody knows because it's.
I don't know. I think they know too.
The classic one.
People ask about the drill, they remember the guitar.
The second, but funny you should say that. There is a reference to the guitar in this movie. Okay. One of the guys, when they're in the cabin, they just pull out this giant, big ass pink guitar that's in the same design, and it's a throwaway joke, and it's amazing. But anyway, so this movie, why I picked it as one of my now new favorite horror films of all time, because it legitimately did that thing that horror movies don't usually do anymore, or at least for me, that I can't seem to find, where something happens and you didn't see it coming.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's one of those movies. It has twists and turns like a Scream movie, for fuck's sake, and then it also has a genuine I didn't see that coming moment. And then
you talk about the moment, or is that a spoiler?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't want. I mean, if you actually want to watch this movie, I won't talk about it too much. But I don't know why I picked it. Then I shouldn't have. But it's I want for our movie why I picked it is I want it to be. I want it to be exactly that.
Just
Like,
something that you don't see coming.
yeah, but I mean, like something where this movie starts off with a cheesy, intentional '90s like horror scene with the girls in the cabin, and then they all get killed off, just to set the stage for everything. And then it's like, okay, well, we get it. Now the next group is going to show up years later, and then the driller killer's not really dead, and then he's going to kill them off, and that'll be the whole movie. Like, obviously, that's what's going to happen, right? Nope. That's not what happens at all.
Okay.
There's a literal, I want a turning point moment that will shock people, and I need it to be extremely unique. That's why I picked this movie, because there is a turning point moment in this movie that I legitimately did not see coming.
Okay.
And also, I like the idea. This isn't really a spoiler, so I guess I could talk about this, but I like the idea of what they did in this movie. They did a role reversal that I think was on purpose, and it's hilarious. So usually you see all of which actually kind of turns into the turning point. So I probably shouldn't talk about it, but
we just said it's good how they did it.
yeah, there's, oh God, I want to talk about it more. I have to. There's so many things. I need you to. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. Off the podcast right now, you need to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Which is on my Plex server. I'll give you the login. You watch it, and then we will do an episode of my podcast talking about it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Back on the. What are we talking about? So yeah, Slumber Party Massacre, 2021, great movie. And I want for
how
our
many of
movie.
those did they make before they got to this one? This is the fourth one,
Yeah,
or was there a fourth one?
No, there is no fourth. This is the fourth. Technically,
this is the fourth. So three. That was like 92. It's a long time ago they did.
Yeah, no, 1990. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
All right. My third film.
That was a waste. I don't know why I talked about that.
It was inspiring. You talked about a twist. That's what you wanted. You want a twist. You want?
Yeah, I want to have a legitimate, like, I did not see that coming moment that only a modern audience could like make up. We're the audience. We have to create this because we're the. Anyway, go on.
Gutterballs.
What?
The movie's called Gutterballs.
Uh-huh.
It's Canadian. It is the goriest fucking fun ride I have ever seen. And it is one killer walking around, taking everybody out in a bowling alley. The staff is trapped in there overnight. It is hilarious and just gory as fuck.
Uh-huh.
Like it's ridiculous kind of thing. It's like stuff that would never really happen. Like kind of like Friday 13th Part 5.
What?
Like, I don't know about you, but I can't grab a belt around a tree and go and somebody's head caves in. Like I can't do that. Like it's human, like these things. This takes that to the extreme, like just an extreme level. And it's a fun ride. What I take away from it is that it's fun. So essentially, the way these work is that I think the slasher films that all right. Here's The Hills Have Eyes. What do you consider that? Is that a slasher film?
I mean,
if it's not, what else is it?
Well, the remakes are definitely.
Oh, I'm talking about the first one and the second first one. Not the first second one, and not the second.
Yeah, no,
it's a very important film.
I mean, I guess they are.
This film, The Hills Have Eyes, talking about this. So Gutterballs is just a fun ride. It's just a lot of fun to watch. It's probably fun with friends. I watched it with Royce. We had a blast, just laughing the way through the whole thing. But The Hills Have Eyes, especially the remake, they torture you for about an hour. Like they make it hard to watch. That's their whole goal. But there's a purpose to it. Because the last 12 minutes, it's such a relief to see the two characters get back, to like fight back. And like you're so, when that happens, it's amazing. So and I say two characters, the dog is a character.
Wait, are you talking about The Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah.
Well, isn't that the same thing with like Last House on the Left and I Spit on Your Grave?
No.
Those movies do the same thing. They torture you for an hour.
But also the difference between Last House on the Left and I Spit on Your Grave, the comeuppance is torturous as well. Like what they drag it out. Like I'm gonna cut your dick off and watch you bleed. I'm gonna, they do terrible. This is literally just like they're just the guy and his dog just mow everybody down for what they did to their family. And you're such a relief. It's not like they catch a guy and like, I'm going to tear your fingers off and do. They don't become the creature. They just become like justice. Like they don't. The other two movies, they almost like I Spit on Your Grave and Last House on the Left. They almost become what they're fighting against. That was the purpose of those movies.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, but I mean, at the same time too, like if you were in that situation, if you were that girl who got, fucking raped,
it makes sense.
Around, like,
but it's a different thing. It's like you don't feel good when she does the shit she does.
Well, I mean, I guess you're not supposed.
You're saying when she was having sex with a handicapped guy and then stabs him. You're like, oh, that's what this is supposed to happen. Yay.
All right, no, maybe not that death because he didn't know what he was doing, and they forced him to do that anyway.
Him. Like he was bad. He was like when she did. It took so long to do it. You're just like, I mean, come on. These guys are literally just ending a town of villains, and it's him and his dog because the other dog got killed, and
that pissed me off. By the way,
pissed the dog off too. Was it Thor? Is that his name? No,
Beauty and Beast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. God, that's beautiful. All right. Anyways, but if that last 12 minutes didn't happen, I would hate this movie. But they really redeem. It's like it's the purpose of it is to endure the torture. Like it's like Hostel, but like with a good it has like an ending. It's not just there to throw it in your face. It's there to make you feel something.
To teach you a lesson.
Not teach you a lesson, but just like it's a ride. But if you're literally just like if you're on a roller coaster that's only going down the whole time, it's just one drop. That's not that much fun. But when you can go back up again and go down again, that's where they become fun.
So what do you want to add to our movie then with this?
Well, Hills of Lies was my pick. Gutterballs was my pick. Gutterballs is basically like I just wanted to be fun, especially like at the back, like when that turning point happens. There's a turning point in most films when the film becomes a different.
Wait, you can't. Wait, what the fuck? I just said the turning point for the Slumber Party Massacre.
That's a twist. I'm not talking about a twist.
What's the fucking difference?
Okay, let's look at Evil Dead 2.
Oh god.
Ash is a victim until he goes insane. And then he's putting chainsaws, he's cutting his hand off. He's already cut his hand off at that point. But like he's a victim until one pivotal scene where then he becomes the hero because he goes insane. Because that's what all the characters in any Lovecraft movie is supposed to do. They're all supposed to be like, I saw the color of space and I'm fine. I'm doing like they just like go nuts and then start killing each other. But Ash went nuts, but for completely different reasons. Like I no longer have fear. Ooh, somebody walked in my grave. Oh, groovy. He just loses his mind and starts killing things, which they completely forgot about when they did all the other movies, even the show. Like you know the moment.
No. What is it?
I'll play it for you.
What? How are we supposed? What? This is a podcast. You can't play things.
Well, yeah, I can. They can hear it.
We already. Oh my god! All right.
One day you'll like learning.
I do like learning. You're wrong format.
It's fine. It's totally fine. You ever listen to a podcast where they play a trailer?
What?
You ever listen to a podcast where they play a trailer?
I mean,
Have you ever heard of that? Ever heard of that?
Hi, Wee. What is she saying Jesus fucking Christ to?
You.
What did I do?
You're just constantly complaining.
What?
Also, we're discussing something. I'm using a visual aid to help explain it to you. What I want to do. It's the whole purpose of this.
I haven't been constantly complaining. This is the first thing I've mentioned.
Everybody in the comments, is that true?
Nobody. No, don't. No.
Give me a second here. I gotta force this to quit. All right. Thank you. I'll share my goddamn screen.
I plead the fifth. What do you, motherfucker? Hey, what are we gonna do? When are we gonna talk about Halloween Kills? When are we doing our podcast? Or my podcast, I guess.
All right. Well,
It's
apparently I gotta
technically
wait.
the next week. Oh no, it isn't. We're still in the same week.
You know what? I'm going this way.
What's happening? What?
I'm just gonna. This won't share my screen right away because everything's locked up because of something I did. So I'm just gonna do this. They even show the moment. So at this point, he's a victim. He's losing his mind. Everything's fucking with him. Still messing with him. This is all filmed in Waynesboro, North Carolina, in a school gymnasium. Still the victim. See if we don't. Still the victim. Ash is now a different person. The camera now looks up at him versus down at him. He addresses everyone differently. He no longer, like, his fear is gone. He's now different. I know they never talk about this, but I know that's what he did. Now Ash is gone. He's a new Ash. Especially because the camera angles never look down at him anymore. They're always looking up at him. Like all of his hero shots used to be like this, or like, I guess they're kind of like, he kept it kind of like this for all of his hero shots. Now they're like this. So like, look, it's all like just a slight bit. You see that? He's completely different. He's a different guy now. He went insane. I want a pivotal moment like that. I want where the movie obviously changes, not genre. Shut up, Bruce. Not like change genre completely, but like where it feels different. Like the roller coaster's taking a different turn. So not so much like a twist where it's like the feel of the movie changes, which always usually does in the last 10 minutes anyway. Every time the final girl is fighting whoever the bad guy is, it always feels different than the rest of the movie. Which I argue, should we have? Well, we'll get to that later, but I think the final girl thing needs to be dropped.
Dropped?
Yep.
Okay, that's a pivotal thing that you're just going to take away, but sure.
Well, no, why can't it be more than one? Why does it have to be one person?
That's what lone survivor. That's the point.
Is it?
I mean, it doesn't have to be.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying this is where we're going with. I'm throwing out ideas at this point.
Well, okay, all right, yeah. So then that's fine. That's what you want then.
Everybody's expecting. No, it's not. It's a dual effort. Don't just give in because I said it. But like.
No, I think it is fine. It's a good idea. I think it doesn't have to be.
But not a sidekick either, because like what was it, Cabin in the Woods? It basically had a sidekick at the end. Like not that, like dual playing.
Uh-huh.
So basically all the tropes of most slasher films, the big guy or whoever the tough guy is usually goes first. He like walks up and like, hey, what are you doing? The strongest of the group usually comes in and gets killed like right off the bat. Just so everybody knows that the leader is now gone, or whoever the one protecting them is. Well, we'll get to that, but so we're still talking slasher. So what's your third pick?
Fourth pick, you mean?
Fourth pick, excuse me.
I picked Final Destination 2 specifically.
Interesting. So not an actual physical killer.
No, well, yeah, but with your definition of what slasher is, then
Not my definition. I don't own all people.
Well, I'm just saying that definition that you presented, it is technically a slasher, and I was trying to be diverse in slashers since that was the goal, and so I picked Final Destination 2.
There is cutlery,
and specifically, I think since I already went with the type of killer with Halloween, I think that in this one we should focus on the deaths, the unique deaths that they have. Because this movie, specifically the second one, so here's the thing. The first Final Destination movie, iconic, has very unique deaths.
Yeah.
But they're not super unique. And compared to all the other ones,
they were at the time.
The first one is the most tame. But then the second one came along literally 2 years later, 2003. No, 3. Then I guess it would be 3 years later because the first one's 2000. The second one came along and fucking upped the game so much it was ridiculous. Like the body count was bigger. The unique death was. It's just, I guess I'm talking more sequel-ish than what we should be making. But I want the unique deaths of the second one in our movie.
I agree. I think
we should
have part of the tropes that you have to have. You have to have your nude stuff. You have to have your deaths have to be good, because if their deaths aren't good, people are just going to wipe right over it. Especially if they consider it a slasher film.
That's the thing. That's the thing with me. My main focus on a slasher film is you have to show the kills. You have to. That's what people are there for. The people, the audience watching a slasher film, they're watching it because they want to see boobs and blood. That's it.
Well, that's most horror films, but also like it doesn't even matter about the killer as much. Like most of these movies are just like the first couple of kills are like through a mask. It's all about the kills itself. It's just what's in front of the camera. Was it Evil Dead 1? Dino De Laurentiis said the blood's got to be running down the screen, and so that's why they literally have blood running down the screen.
They're also I should have picked this one for another one, but just a off topic. Well, not really off topic, but another choice. There's a movie, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's called You Might Be the Killer.
Yeah.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah, with Alice Hannigan and the guy from Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, Franz Kranz. Funny name.
Funny guy.
That movie is...
It was good.
Genius.
It was very, very good.
Yeah, there is a lot. Also, I don't know if you noticed, probably didn't, but most of the season 2 of The Trespasser, a lot of the deaths
or from that movie
were from that movie.
I didn't know that. I mean, I've seen both films, but I didn't know that. I didn't put them together.
Yeah, episode 8. Well, because I took like different sounds from different movies to make an audio that made sense. But like episode 8, KK Callie, she got her head crushed in the fridge. That's from that movie.
Yeah, that's another one of those ones where the guy's like just insanely strong for no reason. Like he's just like the only ones that felt real, with the exception of maybe the first one. I know all the sequels was Scream. Those guys were literally regular guys. You could see it all the time. They like try to hit people and run into walls. Like they fuck up constantly.
Yeah.
Eventually, that knife could go through a solid oak door and come back out. Like if you put a knife all the way through a door, it was a part 4, I think. He just goes, boof. That's not coming out. One, it's not going all the way through, but that's not coming out. That knife is there forever. All right, here is slasher definition by Urban Dictionary.
Slasher film definition. Urban Dictionary. Noun, slang, much-loved genre of film in which heroic vigilantes bring errant citizens, primarily teenagers, to justice with sharp implements, primarily knives.
That's interesting. So, like, but the way the Urban Society looks at it is they focus on the revenge stuff.
Well,
not all of them. I don't think all of them are like that, because Freddy technically was getting revenge too, but he was a bad guy already. So it's like
I think
wasn't innocent.
I mean, Final Destination 2. Oh, God. Sorry, I'm yawning. Jesus.
Final Destination, they escape death, so that's coming for them. Once again, vengeance.
Way past my fucking bedtime.
I know. That 10-hour shift catch you bad.
I think Final Destination 2 is superior to the first one. Well, for the reasons that I said, but I want to just. There's so many reasons why. Okay, so let me clarify what I meant by like I don't want to take the deaths from this movie and use them in ours. I mean, I want to use the uniqueness of those deaths.
Have you seen my film The Jester?
What?
Have you seen my film The Jester?
You started playing it, but then again you did the thing where you skipped through it and got to some other part and then you stopped watching it.
The Jester was my first attempt at making a slasher film.
I know.
But we actually spent a day walking through the house, the location, and making the deaths.
Uh-huh.
Like that, we did the deaths. We wrote the deaths before we wrote the film. We were just walking through the houses like, somebody could die this way, somebody could die this way.
I've always thought about doing it like that. Like for some reason, I don't know how morbid this is going to sound, but for some reason, it's way easier for me to imagine and just type out like a death scene than a story leading up to a death scene.
Sure. It's easier for me to the lead in. Let's see if I can do it.
What?
See if I can share a screen now, or he's still mad at me. No, fuck. That's right. There's a new movie called The Jester. There's a series. There's another one. God.
Oh, God.
No, I'm so locked out. Okay. Oh, well. Why do I actually do this? I can do this again. So, when I made the movie The Jester, there was only one movie called The Funny Man. Now there's Midnight Jester, The Jester, motherfuckers.
Oh, I saw. Yeah, that Jester thing.
TV show. It's like Hindi.
The other one. That one right there on the bottom screen. The Jester chapter, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Those are actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Hello, you looking for your book?
Your static seems to have found me.
The Jester's Curse.
Oh, they show the ending. Like, just this is how he dies. Like, it's just I didn't cut that trailer together. I was just like, here's the whole movie.
Wow.
Now you don't. Hey, look, we're live now. It's popped up on my screen. Like, hey, you might want to see this.
Now it just said you were live now.
Well, no, like I guess I'm in a different Gmail account because like YouTube just it's literally me talking and you bored.
But what?
That's good stuff.
It's funny.
That is the Jester. But that was my first attempt at doing that. And what we did is we went around and we made 9 deaths, I think, and we made them gory. It's probably the goriest deaths I had in any of my films.
Yeah, I've seen.
So we try to make them different. We're trying to make them unique. The Jester was completely supernatural, though. So that's the thing, because like supernatural technically counts as slasher, but I never did before. I always thought slasher was basically like the lone guy with the, But
you
apparently
just included Freddy on your list, so.
Yeah. All right. So here is the last definition I have, which is by the UK libraries. I got the definition of all the other genres.
We should have done the definitions in the beginning.
You just critique the fucking podcast we're in at the moment.
Carry
on. Filmmaker, reviewer.
Who are you pointing to? I'm over here.
Yeah, keep critiquing.
Well, you pointed that way for some reason.
On the screen, you're that way, but on the reversal, because the fucking.
Never mind.
I'll fix it in post.
Oh, we're not using the video anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, now you just heard us argue about it. We usually argued about a trailer. Now you just heard. Oh, I'll cut this out. I love Zombie Bride. Zombie Bride is my favorite Vimeoer. Okay.
What?
Exactly. UK libraries. Slasher definition.
Slasher.
I'm gonna hit every fucking button.
Slasher. UK libraries definition. Noun. Slasher film. Slasher films are a genre of horror most popular from the late 50s to the early 90s, defined by its use of a generally masked killer harassing and murdering groups of people. The genre and its popular films created many of the tropes we see in horror today, and many franchises have been spawned out of the films.
It's pretty close. But see, like the UK looked at it from afar, where the urban society was trying to relate to the killer. And then Google just said that people get hit with things. Like that was their just basic generalization to it. Now, do you know what a splatter film is?
Yes.
What is a splatter film? I didn't know this.
A splatter film?
Mm-hmm.
Like Hostel or Saw.
Exactly. I didn't know that. That a whole new genre of film was. I just call it torture porn.
That's what it is too. It's torture porn, but it's also
Splatter film. Splatter film, also known as torture porn, is a subgenre of horror that explores the concept of human mortality and displays a fascination with the theatricality of mutilation along with the vulnerability of the human body.
Captivity. Good movie.
It revels in gore as an art form and is generally characterized by choppy camera work and usually narrative work that is non-continuous and lacking a coherent plot.
You know what international horror is?
What?
These are all subgenres that I've never even used before.
International horror? Yes, horror movies from other countries like Martyrs.
International horror. International horror encompasses horror films transnationally, mostly films that were made and produced outside of the United States of America.
Which is hilarious that we claimed it. Like if it's made here, it's domestic, but everywhere else, even here in the UK, you're still international. Like you're making a horror film in the UK and you still have to call yourself international. That's some bullshit.
Horror outside of our Americanized perspective is wildly different, but we also take a lot from other cultures' ideals of horror, and studying them is critical to understanding the horror genre at large.
Last one, or second to last one.
Found footage horror.
I knew this one.
Found footage horror is a unique genre of horror, playing on the idea that the film is a real thing that happened that was recorded by the participants and later found and presented unedited. This is rarely the case and is almost always an aesthetic choice, but the modicum for how terror is created is vastly different from regular horror and is definitely worth examining.
And the last one, which I think this is where my films fall.
Cult or...
Do you know what cult means? Like why they call it cult horror?
Yes.
Why?
Because it gains a following of people. Like
no, that's what I thought. It's a culture. It's cult films are apparently named that way because they bring in the culture of a society into their film. Pop culture, cult. It's not about a cult of people following. We just thought Manson made that shit up. But like we're literally like, it's about pop culture.
Popular horror. The films listed here as cult or pop culture horror films are not specific to one genre. These are films that define the genre of film that just didn't fit into any other category. They're important to the film canon and are definitely worth checking out for any kind of paper over horror or any kind of paper over film, really.
I didn't know that was what it was called. Why we called it that?
I didn't. That's weird.
It's not about a cult. Because I mean, how many times have you ever seen a cult follow a film? Other than like The Shining or anything the Lovecraft did. That's the only time I've legit seen a cult. That took a movie and made it a part of their cult.
What the fuck? No, I wasn't talking about that.
No, that's what it means. Like you know how like they'll refer to the Gravers or Toby's Army as a cult. We're not referring it as culture. We're referring to it as like.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's not what I was talking about.
What were you saying?
I guess it's the same thing.
The same thing. Okay. So, but these are all the genres that now exist. That I apparently fell asleep for 10 years, and now all the genres are completely different. There, all like I looked up subgenres of horror, and this is what it is now. All right, what's your next one or your last one?
Well, I didn't know that we were going to try and connect them to our movie. So
I just asked you questions. Even if it doesn't connect, you can just say why you like it.
Oh,
I'm just asking.
Okay, for the last versatile movie slasher, I picked a Scary Movie.
Okay, so people die in it. It works
because it's a spoof.
Yeah,
that's the I think we should.
What do you like about it though? Like, what is it about the spoof that you like?
Well, it's first of all, it's masterfully executed. Like, it's not the first one though. The first two are generally accepted. The rest of them, they get more wacky and retarded as the time goes on.
Wait, is the second one where the guy gets a dick in the ear?
That's the first one.
Okay, you're right. They get way weirder after that. Once you get death by a dick in the ear, you can't go any weirder than that. There's nowhere you can go.
The second one's pretty good though. Still.
No, I still think they're good. I just think it's weird that, like you say, they get weirder. It's like, how do you get weirder than that?
Yeah, no. After the first two, it's just.
What was the one with David Cross in the wheelchair?
The second one.
I love that one. That was actually a lot of fun.
That's what I'm saying. The second one, yeah. But no, so I like it because they're masterfully executed. At least the first one, or the first two are. Second one is more of a spoof, but the first one is like slightly taken seriously to make sure that it's not stupid and ridiculous, but like at the same time it is.
Yeah,
they're making sure that like they're spoofing stuff and making it funny, but at the same time trying to not overdo it and look ridiculous. And I think they pulled it off perfectly. Perfect.
This is funny. My fifth is a spoof as well. Some guy who kills people.
What is it?
It's called Some Guy Who Kills People.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
I'll play the trailer. It's got Barry Bostwick in it. We came around it just by happenstance, and it's spoofing it, but it also like it does what Joss Whedon does with all of his stuff. Joss Whedon will literally tell you a joke about what's about to happen. He's like, "It'd be really funny if we like stood in this room and cried a lot," and then they stand in the room and cry a lot. Like that's how Joss Whedon works. Like he just basically is like, "It'd be really silly if you were a vampire." Oh, he's a vampire. It works though. Like you make fun of it and then you do it. You just let the audience know that it's okay to take the ride with you. That's why I think he was a genius. I don't know what he did to get himself shot, but
I know nothing about this movie.
There you go. I'll play the trailer.
I haven't heard.
It's actually fantastic. We just came about it by happenstance, and it was the best thing ever. Especially Barry Bostwick as the sheriff.
You like to make people laugh, boy? Get your life back on track. You're 34, you work in an ice cream parlor.
Boy, you're on street duty. It's up, Minty.
Oh, right. I knew there was something. Your daughter's here.
Hey, that's what's her face from Invader from Mars, right? Oh, I know her too. Shaun of the Dead.
Throw in $2.90.
He looks familiar. Why do I know him?
Hey, Toots. Why don't you stop by the surplus store sometime? Clearly you're into damaged goods.
Where'd you go last night?
I had things to do. Like to meet a friend.
Looks like I had real head hurting. Both body you have head.
Absolutely.
What do you think head?
That's your answer.
Oh, we've been fine in head.
Good answer.
Oh, God.
A little bit.
Right now, what?
Somebody did old Wade in good.
The hospital turned you into a zombie kid. Right? You had no business even being there. Our guy knew his victim.
What's her name? Karen Black? Is that what it is?
The government wants his story. I wanted to kill them, Sheriff. I wanted to kill them one day.
Bob ahead, sir. Bring it on over.
It's like his eyes follow you.
Huh.
What was that on? Did you just like come or did you have like a thought or whatever?
No, it seems interesting. Had to return some videotapes. Comedy. You know what he's referencing there?
American Psycho?
Wow. Touche. Yeah, so hold on. That lady with the lips, that's Karen Black. Is that not her name? That's who that is, right?
Yeah.
And then the other girl, she's from Shaun of the Dead and also Sabrina.
Yeah, she's doing a bunch of stuff. British comedian.
She was Hilda. I don't know her name, but I forgot.
All right, we're coming to the end. Bride's already kind of ended.
I'm not.
So
I'm fine.
The genre of slasher is known for being bad. Even though there's great films inside of it, it just has this thing about it where people tell you slasher films are bad because there's so many bad ones. They're good ones, but they're rare. Well, like the majority of slasher films are made because zombie films and slasher films were made most because they don't take that much money. Like zombie movies only became super popular and they put more money into it till after
Dawn of the Dead.
No, it wasn't Dawn. It was
Night.
Danny Boyle's film.
28 Days Later.
That was the one. Like that's where people were like, oh, we got to do bigger stuff. Shaun of the Dead they came out at the same time, but it was like they just did it because they were referencing it. The one that changed everything into pop culture, I think, was 28 Days Later because everybody was like that afterwards.
Shaun of the Dead came out way after 28 Days Later.
Same year.
No, it didn't. Are you insane? 28 Days Later was like 2001, 3. Shaun of the Dead was like 2004 or something.
Shaun of the Dead 2004.
Yeah.
28 Days Later.
2001.
Oh, they're being shot at the same time. That's what it was. They couldn't sell Shaun of the Dead right away. So, like, apparently Danny Boyle knew that these guys were talking to each other when they were shooting both movies.
Huh. Interesting.
And 28 Days Later had a smaller budget because they weren't even shooting on film. Like, Evil Dead was actually shot in the 70s. Didn't come out to the 80s, but it was shot in the 70s.
Yeah. So,
but 28 Days Later is what basically the last film to be in the theater with zombies in it before 28 Days Later was Return of the Living Dead 2.
What?
Return of the Living Dead Part 2 was the last one to be in the theater.
Before 28 Days Later?
Mm-hmm.
No fucking way.
That was a zombie movie in the theater? Yes, sir. Name one other one that was in the theater. There are movies that came out, but not in the theater. They're straight to video. My computer's frozen again. Am I real?
You're frozen.
You're frozen.
Uh-oh. It's still recording, so don't touch anything.
Everything looks like I'm not touching anything. I'm going to touch this, though. Hey, guys.
Anyway,
why is this happening? Literally nothing.
Your live is...
Oh, at
least I don't look like an idiot while I'm frozen. That's good. Anyway, all right, let's just keep going then.
Yeah.
So, we want to talk about bad slasher films.
Right.
Which there's tons of. And I had a very hard time choosing. Actually, I didn't have a hard time at all choosing my two. Or at least two that I picked, whatever. So the first one I picked, right, is Friday the 13th, Part 8.
8, really?
Yeah. Well, see, I was going to pick Jason Goes to Hell because it is marketed as a thing and it's vagina, and I hate it. I don't like it.
Okay. What he's saying is vagina is something he hates because he hasn't had one yet.
No.
I love all women, and I think women are very strong, and if they have a vagina, there's nothing wrong with it.
Jesus Christ. No, what I'm saying is Part 9 was marketed at... Here, let's do it this way. Part 9 was marketed as a horror movie, and it came out looking like a fucking comedy. See the difference? They're very different.
Where's vagina come in?
Don't look at the camera. Anyway, I don't like part 8. I chose not to pick part 9 because I know you like part 9, so I just decided
You can choose a movie I don't like. That's fine.
No, I despise 8 more, or have more reasons to hate 8.
Why do you hate 8?
Because for one, again,
Not enough vagina.
Marketing. It's Jason Takes Manhattan, or Jason takes a cruise ship for an hour and 20 minutes and then takes Manhattan for 10 minutes.
Okay.
That's why it's fucking stupid. And first of all, at this point, it was up since part 5. The MPAA have been fucking the Friday films. Like, no, they've been cutting things out left and right. Part 7 got destroyed by the MPAA, and part 8 also a victim. You don't see shit in this movie. It's surprising how many people get killed in this movie, but you don't actually see it. It's very
Is 7
heavily
where he's a
implied.
Swiss Army knife?
What?
7 is where Jason is a Swiss Army knife. Everywhere he goes, he has a new weapon. Like, just appears.
Bro, he's a ghost in that one, isn't he?
No, 8 sees ghosts. 8 doesn't use shit. He just has like the one machete once.
That's what I'm saying. Is part 8 is what I'm talking.
No, Swiss Army knife. Where he has like a different weapon every time he kills somebody. He just appears with new weapons.
Yeah, the first he kills somebody with a harpoon gun, then he shows up and kills somebody with a guitar, and then there's like a.
So that's 7.
No, that's 8. What so
in
7...
part 7, everywhere he goes, he has weapons.
Oh, okay. So you're saying he's a Swiss Army? Right.
Yes. Not that he actually drinks cocoa or makes watches. He has there's a plethora of weapons.
Right.
He even pulls out like a giant, like not like a wood cutter thing, or like a trim cut, limb cutter or something like that at one point. After chasing, what's his name, Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's for like an hour.
Yeah. Whatever. 7. I don't like 7 either, but 8 is worse.
I wasn't saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying I was asking a question to make sure I had the right one, because I didn't know if it was 6.
8 is, it's just the marketing for 8 is really what pisses me off, and by this point, the series has been gnawed to death by the MPA, and you don't see shit, and it's pointless, and then it's such a terrible movie, and I don't think they even care anymore. And what was your gripe with it? What, Crystal Lake was connected to the Hudson River?
Oh no, I just said that all the Jason movies don't make any sense anyway. Like, all of a sudden, Crystal Lake was connected to the Hudson River. That's just a big reference. I mean, they all do that. They all like erase what they did before. Like when people complain about a reboot, it's like, why? They reboot it every time they make a new one.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
No, it's not. I guess he reboot every damn time. Like Jason's almost completely different every time too.
I mean, you're not wrong. I just part 8 is just heinous. It's a heinous. If I could have, I would have picked 9, but whatever. 8 is just as bad.
All right, I feel like I have to defend 9.
No, don't. It's fine. I wasn't talking about 9. I was talking about 8.
No. I'm defending 9 because I like it as an individual film, not as a Friday the 13th film.
Oh God, you're gonna okay.
That's it. I was done.
Oh, what?
That's it. I'm done. I said I like it because I like it as an individual horror film, not as part of a franchise.
I thought there was more to that, but okay.
There is, but you're getting older, and we don't want you to die.
What do you mean I'm getting... What?
All right. So, what is your first pick for? Wait, did you get your first pick for your bad?
Jesus, who's the old one? Jesus Christ. Yes,
I know I'm old. You're just getting it.
Friday the 13th, Part 8 was my first pick.
Okay, mine is Iced.
Jesus Christ.
Iced.
Jesus Christ.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. Are you trying to play a trailer for your frozen screen?
No, only that's it's weird, but only that screen is frozen.
What?
I'm going to show you the best of Ice. 2 minutes of the best scenes from the movie Iced, which apparently has a cult thing because it's so bad it's good. Apparently people can see this. It's not me.
They can see me. They can't see you.
No, the recording on YouTube, apparently people can see it.
Okay. Oh my god.
This is the best of Ice.
Hey, your stream unfroze.
He's using Ice now. That is the best of Ice.
Wee says that you're frozen on YouTube, and I'm not.
Like when you're watching this movie, like the way they cut it together, like it's still too long. But when you're watching the movie for the first time, it is just so bad.
Did you hear what I said?
What did you say?
I said that you are frozen on YouTube, but I'm not.
No, that's okay. We're using sound anyway. What's your second bad film? Oh wait, let's actually say this. What do you not? What out of your Jason 8? What do you not want to carry from that? What do you want to make sure that we do not do in our film?
Oh, the ridiculous writing and the nonsensical fucking plot and the less kills or the less showing of the kills. Everything about that movie was so stupid. I don't want a ghost for our murderer. I don't want it to take place in one location for most of the movie if it's billed as something else. That's about it.
Okay. For Iced, I don't want it to be iced.
What?
I don't want it to be that movie.
Okay. We don't have to make it that movie, you know?
I mean, some of this dialogue, it's like if Troll 2 was treated seriously.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Some of this dialogue is so bad, but they just keep going. They're like,
sometimes psychologically less is more. I understand that, but at the same time, save that for psychological thrillers and actual horror movies. If it's a slasher film, you need to see the kills because that's the point of a slasher film.
Well, so there are exceptions to the rule, but yeah, like Psycho, you don't really get the other one.
Well, yeah, okay, but I'm talking about disregarding all of the.
I know, I agree with you. The majority of them had that, yes, but some of them get away with it if they do it right, but most of them don't do it right.
Right.
Now, what's your second pick?
My second pick is a movie that I don't think fits on this list, but we were talking about zombie movies, so I guess it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it is House of the Dead.
The blow-up movie. You know how many people blow themselves up in that movie? Like constantly, people like keep stopping and be like, "Go on."
I got. Ironically, it's the second movie on my list here, starring Jonathan Cherry.
Now I will say this: House of the Dead, terrible. However, the game that they made a game that was a Grindhouse movie, like the whole thing, that was amazing. Whatever that game was, it's like part 8 or something, but like that was fantastic.
That was no. It was it was a remaster of the first like 4 games or something on the Wii.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that
was.
Yeah, it was the House of the Dead games were only arcade games. They were never on console.
But there wasn't a story to those games. Like you just go in the arcade and shoot things.
Yeah, well, there was a story, but people never paid attention to it. Now they actually put a story. I mean, they put it on.
Yeah, but there's characters. Those characters weren't in the arcade game.
No.
So, okay. All right. Mine is Easter Bunny Kill Kill. Fuck that movie. Like, I thought when you name your money first, you name your movie after Russ Myers. There should be certain things that Russ Myers ask, or at least make fun of it. But 2, it's called Easter Bunny Kill Kill. It should be fun.
Excuse me. I know I probably shouldn't throw this out during a live podcast, but who the hell is Russ Myers?
That's okay. Russ Myers is not a lot of people know Russ Myers. There's a
Wait,
movie called-
wait. Is this the guy who made that Faster Pussycat Kill movie, right? And the other dude who did, he's the exploitation dude that you told me to look up instead of
John Waters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
John
Waters
is a little different than Russ Myers. I think you would like Russ Myers more than you like John Waters.
I don't like Faster Pussycat Kill. That movie's boring as hell.
Is it better than anything John Waters did?
Entertainment wise, or like?
Did you? I said you would like Russ Myers more than you like John Waters.
I mean, did I watch the entirety of Faster Pussycat Kill?
I didn't ask you that at all.
Well, yes, I did.
Okay.
Have I ever finished one single John Waters movie in its entirety? Just one, Serial Mom, and that wasn't that
No,
great.
you're talking about at this point. Okay.
So I'm agreeing with you. Technically, yes, he would.
It was like you could have just okay. All right. So now, what do you not want to have happen from what was the
House of the Dead?
House of the Dead.
Oh, terrible fucking acting, and stupid action scenes, and wire work. I don't want wire work in there, and zombies. We don't need zombies. If we're gonna do
it's all
which is blasphemy if you're talking about, because I should technically be in love.
Why do you consider House of the Dead a slasher film, not a zombie film?
Because it is. People get killed. I mean, they're getting killed by zombies, but it's it's a picking off character one by one situation. That's a slasher film.
Okay. Yeah, because it's all turned its head now. Easter Bunny Kill. It's just just slap a child instead of like you just do that. You're the same thing. God, please, if you're the director, come across this, I'm so sorry.
I don't from House of the Dead. I don't want to base our movie off of any kind of
video game.
Yeah.
Okay. We won't get the rights to a video game. Shit, I did that. Never mind. Yeah, I did. All right. All right. I guess that's it for our definition of what a slasher film is and what slasher films we like and dislike. I've been your host, Zombie Bry. This has been.
I'm John Johnson.
And I don't know.
We don't know how to sign off. Are you kidding me right now? That was terrible. We just spent an hour and a half talking, and then all of a sudden we're like, okay, that's it. Bye.
Sign off.
Sign off like this. Hey, thanks for listening to this wonderful podcast.
I know what we do.
Every episode, we'll talk about something new. I hope you stay tuned. Goodbye. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, now stop the recording and make sure you actually recorded it.
Hang on. I'm going to play something.
What are you playing? What is this? What's
happening?
Oh,
we're going to end it.
You're
just playing audio.
Just don't Sopranos it.
Not Journey.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
This is how TV stations used to end. Like every night at 4 a.m. they would play this before they would just go blank until 7. This is actually the footage. The sign off. That's it. Jester knows. There's this is old school. It used to play every night. This terrible footage.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I know. I was alive when this was a thing.
Question. You know what snow is? Like snow on TV?
Yes.
Is it ants having a pillow fight? I thought it was ants having a pillow fight.
Jesus Christ.
No, he wasn't there. All right, guys. This has been fun, and I'm leaving. Ending broadcast. No, I can't press a button.
Are you?
This is gonna record me for a while.
You fucking kidding me right now?
I'm not gonna press anything until that thing gives me permission. I'm gonna sign everything else. I'm gonna hop off here. Everybody, go kill somebody.
Oh my fucking god!
So everyone else can shut me down.
Are you kidding me right now?
I'm shutting everything else off this thing, and hopefully it'll just. I'm sure it's recording because we're live right now on YouTube.
Yeah, but is it gonna save to YouTube?
It should save to StreamYard as well. I can't end it though.
God damn it!
It won't end.
If this happens, I swear to God, next time if we didn't record this again, we're going to Zoom, okay? And I'm in charge of hitting the fucking record button.
It's still going.
You gotta be kidding me.
Actually, wait. You stay in the room. I'll just close my window. It'll still be running.
What do you mean?
Damn.
What?
If I leave the room, you will just stay there for a second. I'm shutting my window off so that I can open it again and you'll still be in there, and I can press stop.
I don't like your logic, but okay.
It's literally saying it's closed. No, it's not.
Oh fuck. Here we go. What happened? This is a fucking joke. Are you kidding me right now? Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Still recording. This is funny. Still live on YouTube. Hi, welcome to my stream now. It's me, Zombie Bry. Welcome. I hope you have a great time here. Today we're going to talk about how to cook potatoes. Now, I've never attempted to cook potatoes before, but I have heard that it's easy. What you do is you go out and buy potatoes if you don't have any at home. But if you do, we'll skip to that step, because assuming you're watching this on purpose because you already have the potatoes and you want some sort of potato recipe, here we go. First thing you do, you peel one. You're going to need 3 potatoes, and you're going to peel one of them, completely peel one of them, only peel a second one halfway, and you're going to leave the third one completely unpeeled. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to throw every single one of these potatoes in a bowl. And I know that there's like mashers that you can like mash potatoes with, but instead of that, what you're going to do is you're going to punch it with your fist. Punch into the bowl at the potatoes, and you're going to mash them that way. Knuckle mash them until they are effectively mashed potatoes, and then slap them in the microwave for 42 minutes. And then after that, you'll have a sweet burnt black potato chip. And then at that point, you can put anything you want on it. You can put sauce of some kind. Hold on, I have a message from one wee dot. You're still streaming. Thank you. I know, I'm still talking to the camera. I'm trying to tell you about a potato recipe. Have you not been listening? Anyway. So yeah, that's how you make a giant black potato chip. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and try and make some sort of bread recipe that involves wheat. And what you want to do is you want to go to the store and buy wheat. A giant bag of wheat. And of course, if you already have some wheat at home, you can skip that step and we'll just go straight into the cooking now. So with your giant bag of wheat, what you want to do is take your hand and go straight into the bag and take out a fistful of wheat and throw it right at the fucking window for good luck. That's about it. Nobody wants to eat bread. Fuck bread. Thank you. I've been your host, Zombie Bry. I will now vacate this area, effectively losing this entire recording again. We have been streaming for an hour and 45 minutes, and if I leave the room, that means that the recording should end. But will it save? Will the recording save? Will we have done this podcast for a second time for no fucking reason for a second time? I believe that is the case. And if it's not the case and it actually saves, fine, prove me wrong. Great. But until then, I think that we've wasted another hour and 46. Actually, last time it was worse because last time it was almost 3 hours. But now this is only an hour and 46 minutes, which, you can't really get. That's a movie. That's a movie you could sit through. It's fine. Anyway, okay. Good night, everybody. Hopefully this saves.